Hello and welcome back. My name is Edrina. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Edrina, and I hope you guys are having a fabulous summer. So we actually took the month of July off social media and all of that, posting videos on YouTube and things like that, but we are back, and I thought I would kick off the month of August with a couple of fun videos rather than accountant videos, bookkeeping videos, QuickBooks videos, which is what I normally do. So if that's what you're looking for, come back and I will be sharing all of the fun things. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and link below the QuickBooks videos playlist so you can see all of that if that is what you're interested in. But in this video, I am going to be sharing with you 5 fun facts that you might not know about me. So I will have a part 2 to this video as well, so stick around for that and make sure that you are subscribed to my newsletter so you are aware of that next video coming out, and let's jump right in. Now, the first fun fact you might not know about me is that I never script my videos. Now, sure, I did write down some notes for this video, and I do occasionally write down outlines for each of these videos. But to be quite honest, when I first started doing YouTube videos way back when, maybe like 5 years ago, I thought I needed to write down like word for word what I wanted to say in each video. And what I found over time was that it sort of tripped me up. I think maybe I'm better like on the fly, or even just having that outline, knowing kind of like where I'm going to start and where I'm going to end up is really helpful, but not to write down word for word. It feels inauthentic to me, to be honest. Number 2, I have a love for learning. And maybe this is already apparent in my channel because I love teaching things that I have learned. But this actually, if I go back, it started at a really young age. When I was growing up, my parents sort of like threw me into various different types of lessons. I was in piano lessons, clarinet, singing, musical theater. Let's see, I was in gymnastics, I was in swimming, diving, and the list goes on. I'm sure there's tons of things like jazz, ballet that I just can't even remember. But basically their philosophy was, let's give her an idea of a bunch of different things and let her decide what she enjoys doing and what she wants to be committed to. So the things that did stick obviously was theater and swimming. So I would say like those have always been kind of like my first loves, and so I will always go back to those. And actually that's going to kind of like put me into the next one. So number 3 is that I grew up on the stage. So like I said, for number 2, I had a love for learning, and that, I definitely like really stuck to theater. So my parents, when I was younger, always put me in productions as a child. So they were in charge of it was like the kids group at church when I was younger, when I was growing up. And so no matter what my age was, they always found a role for me in the script, and they threw me on stage and had me memorize lines. And I really enjoyed it. I really loved it. I just want to mention one more thing. I'm going to go back to number 2 because, I was talking about like when I was growing up, but also like coming at it from like my perspective now. I definitely seek out opportunities to find like more learning opportunities for myself. So I'm always searching out like webinars, or I'm always searching out something that I can learn. Even when it comes to books, I like to listen to a lot of different books, different audiobooks on Audible. And I also love to read. So I think all of that has been encompassed in like my love for learning. All right, let's skip to number 4 now. Number 4, I have actually created some internal rules about communicating with clients. And I thought I would just like capture this in one of these videos because I think it's really important. And this goes back to like knowing how to create boundaries for yourself and knowing kind of like where that boundary line is so that you don't cross it. So let me explain. Occasionally, there are times where I do feel like I need to apologize for certain things, like maybe I am running late on a task or a report or whatever the case may be. So I have to juggle all of these different tasks for various clients of like varying needs. And the thing that I have found most useful is to reduce the amount of times that I apologize for something and explain why I'm apologizing. So let me give you an example. So let's say I'm running behind on a specific report for a specific client because another client is taking my time to work on a different report that has a deadline. So in that situation, I would tell this client, I'm running behind, and leave it at that. So if I feel like I need to apologize, at that point, I will apologize. I'm so sorry. I'm running behind, but I will get it to you by Friday or by Monday or whatever the case may be. I found that if I gave like too many details about what's happening behind the scenes, like it doesn't really matter. Like it doesn't care. It doesn't affect them. Maybe that they'll have a little empathy for me, but the point is like I'm a professional, I'm a business person, and I would rather leave it at that rather than like throwing out everything that I'm working on and telling them like all about my schedule and my deadlines and how hard it's been. Like they don't need to hear my sob story. And so I think like I just leave that boundary line there. I'm sorry, you'll get this by Friday. And generally speaking, people are completely understandable. Like they know that things can run behind, and they themselves probably have run behind in their lives as well. And so this is just something that I sort of picked up along the way in my professional life. And I just wanted to document it and pass that along to you. And the fifth one kind of goes hand in hand with the fourth one, and that is know your audience. So at the end of the day, like my clients are really only interested in their work. They're not necessarily interested in the work of another client of mine. And so it's important for me to know my audience. And occasionally those things will intersect. So for example, they might be asking me, well, what does your other client do in this particular instance? Or how do they approach it? Or, how do you work with them? And they're really only interested in the relationship that I have with them. And so knowing my audience is crucial. If I have two very like-minded nonprofits and they have very similar tasks and systems that they use, like, of course, I'm going to bring that up into conversation. So that's part of knowing my audience, saying like, oh, well, this client does it this way, but this client does it this way. So you have options. And so like, that's kind of like one of the benefits of working with me is that I have a wealth of knowledge from various different clients. And it's just like larger nonprofits, smaller nonprofits, medium nonprofits, or even individuals, real estate. I mean, it's just a variety of different things. So it's good for me to be aware of that and to know my audience. And especially if they are a new business starting out, the new business, like, especially like remember feeling exactly how I felt 5-6 years ago now, when I was thinking about starting my business. It's all very much overwhelming and there's a lot of options out there. And so what I would need to know is exactly what is relevant to me. I don't need to know what a larger business or company does because that's not relevant to me. Sure, that might be interesting, but in the context of the work that I do with my clients, it's neither here nor there for them. So knowing your audience is going to be huge. All right, that's all I have for you for this video. Come back for the next video and I'll give you 5 more fun facts about myself that you probably don't know. Thanks for watching, friends.